So this is meant to be an interactive session. So eventually what we want to do with this is after every UKEChat, we get together and we discuss a few of the tweets and take the discussion even further as a video chat. So hopefully this isn't just going to be a standalone webinar where I'm going to be talking to you. Pity that is, but there we go. Hopefully we're going to have lots of people chatting about the chat. If that makes sense. Very meta, I think you'll agree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I've picked out about 10 different tweets, which I'm basically going to talk about. And if you want to jump in, then there is a hand icon at the bottom of your chat screen. If you click on that, then you should be able to hopefully jump in and join me. So I'm just sharing my screen now. Okay then, so first tweet that I found comes from David Chalk, and it's really interesting that the discussion revolved around what kind of subjects were creative. And I found it interesting that he said that science may not be a creative subject, but then in a later tweet, he then shared some very creative, interesting ideas with the group, which I found fascinating. And personally, I think that science, and probably every single subject, does have a creative side to it. It really just depends on how the subject is framed. I'm a primary school teacher by trade, so I do love creativity in my own classroom. I think that it's a fantastic way to engage pupils in my classroom. Moving on to another one, lots of criticism about the fact that, yes, we should include creativity in the classroom, but that's not always the case. So it is vital, as Caroline says in this particular tweet, but sometimes it's completely absent from the classroom. And even when it is in the classroom, sometimes it is not enough. I'm just going to return to my screen to see if anybody has asked to jump in. And I'm not seeing anybody jumping in at the moment, but if you do want to jump in, then please do. All you need to do is just raise your hand in the chat bar, and then I'm not just doing a monologue all by myself. Back to the sharing of the screen, I think. So next tweet, Charlene thought it was rather interesting the fact that students have to demonstrate their creativity in their questions. So when I'm teaching, I find some of the questions that the pupils ask me absolutely fascinating. Yes, it does take us on huge digressions sometimes, but it is a fantastic way to learn. And following their interests, I find, is a really interesting way to teach. And I hope that people either agree with me as a video chat, or you can also do so, or disagree, in the chat bar. So again, people thinking that it's incredibly important to have this creativity. So facts and figures are not just the only thing which happens in the classroom, but it's encompassing the entire expanding of the mind, as this tweeter says. Yep, so again, it's interesting to see where pupils take you. So in my own teaching, constantly pupils that take a brand new look at something which you may have taught many, many times before. And it's always good to have that fresh perspective and to have that maybe unknowing eyes onto that particular problem or that particular facet of learning. Yep, so experimenting in the classroom, I feel, is very important, and having an opportunity to explore different ways of learning for pupils, but also different areas which they're interested in, and also things they may not be interested as well. I'm just going to unshare my screen again so I can see if anybody has raised their hand, and somebody has. Somebody wants to join me. Okay, Colin, hopefully you should be able to join me. I will just carry on sharing the screen for the time being until you join us, because it can take a moment or two to engage. So let's go back to this tweet. Yeah, so time is obviously a big issue. We've got such a crowded curriculum in the UK, and I'm sure for overseas viewers that it's exactly the same in your classroom. The fact that we have to try to pack as much as we can into our lessons because there just simply isn't time to often reflect on what we're doing as educators, but probably more importantly, as pupils as well. The fact that we're always running straight on from one thing we're doing straight on to the next one. So it's important to have that time and space to be able to do what you need to do to reflect on the learning that you've just completed. And we just don't do enough of that in the classroom. So the question was about whether the teachers need to be creative to try to instill creativity and elicit creativity in their pupils. A bit of a mixed reaction to that question. So many people said that it's absolutely vital to be creative if you're a teacher. Other people said that it's not vital and it's probably not necessary, but it does help a lot. So lots of disagreement on this. I don't think anybody said that teachers should be completely devoid of creativity, which is interesting because obviously no teachers think that they're devoid of creativity, but you do wonder sometimes. Moving on swiftly. Yep, so this embodies what I was just saying about the fact that, yes, it's not necessary, but it definitely is important. It's definitely beneficial to be creative in the classroom. Okay, I'm just seeing if anybody has joined me yet. Nope, I can't see anybody has at the moment, so I'm just going to carry straight on. Okay, so Leanne has said that, again, because of pressures in the classroom, so exams and testing, then the focus isn't always on creativity, which it probably should be a lot more. It was interesting that many tweeters in tonight's session said, yes, it is important, but it shouldn't always be the focus. I'm quite interested to hear what people have to say about that. Do you think that creativity should be at the forefront of everything we do, or should it just be sometimes, or should it just be occasionally? Is it something which is vital to every single lesson that you teach and every single lesson which the pupils are learning? And this is the final tweet that I've picked out. And it was about the fact that you need to be confident about something and to try it out and to feel like you can have that experimentation. And that's it's almost along the growth mindset lines, that the fact that you do need to be able to try these things and have the opportunity to maybe not succeed, maybe to succeed. Sometimes you are going to fail, but it's that trying and trying to push forward outside of your comfort zone, which is ever so important.